Along the Hudson River, the town of Yonkers looks south toward New York. In the city center, the locals work and shop. While on the north side, a 14-year-old named Michelle Walker scrambles up onto a walking path built over an aqueduct behind her house. Michelle is headed home with dinner from the neighborhood pizza parlor. As she walks, a pair of eyes follow, and then a figure emerges from the trees. No one in the neighborhood hears a sound, and Michelle Walker never makes it home. In 1987, Kevin Chamberlain is 11 years old, and in the best of all possible worlds, on summer vacation. For Kevin, every day is an adventure, many of them spent exploring the woods behind his house. On the afternoon of June 6th, Kevin walks into the tree line and finds something that changes the child in him forever.
And I saw bare feet sticking out, and they were white and puffy. So, I mean, even at that age, I knew that that was somebody who wasn't alive. And I turned tail and ran.
Kevin runs past his own house and directly to his neighbor, a retired police officer who immediately calls police.
I remember they came in, it was like a swarm of bees. They went in every direction, and there was a few detectives came and talked to me.
An officer on scene remembers the missing persons report on 14-year-old Michelle Walker, filed just a few hours earlier. Hunt confirms the girl in the woods is Walker.
Upon completion of the full autopsy, it was my determination that she died of mechanical asphyxiation, meaning that she was smothered.
The evidence of rape offers detectives a starting point to further their investigation. The top 3 suspects are young men seen at or near the crime scene the afternoon of the murder.
2 of them said they saw her, the other one just denied everything. That was Patrick Baxter, and a lot of the investigation hinged on him.
Patrick Baxter is 18 years old, and he carries a history of sexual assault. His refusal to talk intrigues Hunt. However, at the time he is questioned, Baxter has an unrelated criminal charge pending against him.
And due to our wonderful liberal laws in New York State, we're not allowed to talk to somebody who's got a charge pending against them. So his right to silence is absolute.
Suspect Patrick Baxter is put on the back burner, and the investigation pushes forward. Hundreds of pages of reports, hundreds of leads, but no arrests. Eventually, the case goes cold. 3 years after Michelle Walker's death, 20-year-old Jennifer Gibbons drives up to her parents' home.
And my stepfather got out and walked over to me as I was circling the back of the car, and he said, "Hold on." And we were always joking, so I thought he was kidding, and I said, "Okay, holding on, you know."
Jennifer's stepfather, however, is not joking. He explains to Jennifer that her 25-year-old sister, Lisa, has been shot.
It's a moment you will never forget.
Lisa Gibbons had been walking to the train near her home in Tuckahoe, New York. Just 20 yards from her front door, Lisa is dragged into some bushes and killed with a single shotgun wound to the head. Using ultraviolet light, forensics examines the victim's clothes for possible bodily fluids and isolates a small amount of semen on the back of the victim's dress. The sample is analyzed, and a genetic profile is developed. DNA testing eliminates dozens of suspects, but provides no leads as to who might have killed Lisa. 9 months after the murder of Lisa Gibbons, Sergeant Lowenstein gets word that suspect Patrick Baxter is back in jail on assault charges. Lowenstein seizes the opportunity to pay a visit to the suspect's home, looking for a sample of Baxter's DNA. Bodily fluids are identified on the items seized from Baxter's apartment. A genetic profile is developed, but does not match semen found at the Lisa Gibbons crime scene. Unsure whether the profile developed is actually Baxter's, Lowenstein does not dismiss the 22-year-old as a suspect. Instead, Baxter is shuffled to the back of the pack. Meanwhile, Lisa Gibbons' murder investigation, like the case of Michelle Walker before her, goes cold. In 1995, John D'Alessandro is an up-and-comer in the Yonkers Detective Bureau. Figuring him with a lot of energy to burn, senior detectives tell D'Alessandro to tackle the Michelle Walker case. Hundreds of pages of reports and boxes of evidence, winnowing down their list of major suspects until only Patrick Baxter remains. By 1998, DNA has developed to the point where investigators are willing to take a shot at genetic testing. They want to compare semen samples collected from Michelle Walker's body to a reference sample from Baxter. Problem is, detectives have no such sample from their suspect. D'Alessandro pulls Baxter's criminal record and sees a juvenile conviction on a sexual offense.
We contacted the Westchester County lab to see if they could find any biological material from that case and compare it to the biological material recovered from Michelle Walker.
The call goes to Mary Eustace, a DNA analyst at the Westchester lab. She tells D'Alessandro there are no reference samples on file for Baxter, then tells D'Alessandro something further, something that changes the investigation entirely.
And I said, somebody else just called with that same name. Maybe you need to talk to him about your case that you never know, how they might be linked.
Mary Eustace, when she saw the name, Patrick Baxter, she said, oh, Detective Lowenstein has the same name.
Westchester County Detective Russ Lowenstein, the original detective working Lisa Gibbons' murder, had called Eustace earlier that day, asking her to confirm DNA test results on items taken from Patrick Baxter's apartment 7 years earlier. At Eustace's urging, Lowenstein and D'Alessandro compare notes on Patrick Baxter.
He recommended waiting to test the samples because at the time our crime lab was doing RFLP DNA testing, so we had to wait until they came online with SDR.
Until then, investigators work each murder the old-fashioned way, running down witnesses and checking leads. In the process, Yonkers detective John D'Alessandro hears a story about another young woman named Patricia England.
This was a girl that Patrick Baxter went to school with. You know, this was within his circle of friends, and she's also found dead, naked in the woods.
Suddenly, two cold cases of murder might be joined by a third. Semen material from all three cases is sent to the forensic lab, where the new STR DNA testing hopes to provide some clarity and perhaps evidence of a serial killer.
We looked at the two profiles, one from the semen stain on the back of Lisa Gibbons' dress and the other from the tank top in the Michelle Walker case, and it was the same profile. I remember that my heart started beating really fast and I got the chills. And we were both shocked and screaming.
Analysts share the news with investigators. Two cases, for years linked only by a name, are now linked by science.
And at this point, you know, we were pretty convinced that Patrick Baxter killed Lisa Gibbons and Michelle Walker, and now we just learned about the England case, and we were sure that that would eventually match the other two.
Detective D'Alessandro's gut is right. Elaine Schwartz examines the England evidence.
That profile matched those other two cases.
All we need to do now is we need to have an order to get his blood.
The new DNA evidence gives detectives enough clout to get their warrant. In June of 2000, Yonkers detectives make the 5-hour drive north to Dannemora, New York, where Baxter is doing a stretch for possessing a stolen car and reckless endangerment.
Oh, no. No, he didn't want to see me.
We developed an STR profile from the tube of blood that was submitted, and then that known profile was compared to all three cases. And it matched at all 13 loci for all three cases. The chance of 1 in, I think it was 943 trillion, that it could have been somebody else.
A year and a half later, the district attorney's office is ready to try Patrick Baxter on 3 counts of murder. After a 3-week trial, the jury deliberates for 3 days. On May 9th of 2002, a verdict is returned.
Guilty. Jury's verdict was guilty on all counts.
He's the guiltiest person I've ever arrested.
He's a serial killer, he's a sexual sadist, and he's a person who has no emotion when it involves other people.
A sentence of 75 years should keep Patrick Baxter from ever killing again. For the detectives that put him there, however, a mere sentence of years falls woefully short.
Him hurting other people is what he craves, and that type of person would only kill again. Enough would be to have him suffer the same way that those 3 girls suffered.